I hope this video can help explain what my words were trying to say. So, for the sake of simplicity, you just have a couple of line items, basic numbers, 10,000 all the way across. You can see that there's formulas in the rows, adding up the rows, and you can see they are also here, adding up the columns. Let's actually, I was going to show you something else before I got ahead of myself in prep. Okay, so right now this is an equation of the column, and this is a sum equation of the row. And you saw that I took out this one, right? Currently, this admin fee is your 10% that you were looking for, and it is based on E9, this guy right here. You can see because it's showing up in the column that it's showing up here, but not here, which is the problem you're running into, right? You can't get them quite to match. As soon as you change one, the whole thing changes. What happens, because these two numbers are so dependent on each other, if you were to drag this down and include this, when there's an equation there, you're going to get all rough. All the hashtag rough. Because they're so dependent on each other, neither one can actually land on a spot without affecting the other one. And so it's constantly changing. And so it's not actually helpful. So if you know what your final grant amount needs to be, let's say the max amount you're going to ask your funder for is the 150, then I would put that in here. That if you're looking for 10% of that final number, this is that 10% of the final number. There's still too much in your budget, so you would have to take away from something else. Let's take away 5. That's too much. And then see how you just have to kind of, oops, that's probably why. 5,000 is actually what I wanted. And 5,000. There. And now your columns all add up. What you're asking for the funder also stays overall the same, that 50,000, and your total budget stays the same. So if you know what that final number is going to be and your admin fee is part of that, change this to that final number. Don't let it be an equation. If it's an equation, it's going to mess up. What I usually do is I have these extra equations off to the side for myself to make sure that it's still all adding up the way that it should be. You can also highlight over them and you get the sum in the bottom. All right, so that's cheat 1. Coming down to cheat 2, if you want them to be dependent on, or if you actually want them to have that back and forth, that dependency on each other, and that final grant amount doesn't matter quite as much, or you want to play with it a little bit more, I would split it up into 2 pieces. So you have your typical budget and then your admin fee as 2 subgroups, and then you get your final total after that. And so that allows you to do some more of that playing. Oops, I needed to change this formula. I copied it as I was prepping for this. There. And see, now as this changes, as this number changes, and that number changes. And so you can decide how you want that to be, how you want that to work, until you get to the number, that sweet spot number that you're looking for. This is probably more of the solution you wanted. It's just an extra layer of the work that you were trying to do. Let me know if that's helpful.